How's it going, folks? What about this weather? It's absolutely awful. I've come to realise that my happiness is directly related to the weather. I don't think we've had any summer at all. But anyway, that being said, I thought I'd better do a follow-up. Some of you might have seen the post that I put on my YouTube community post the other day that showed me absolutely ripping my filter room apart and pulling some of the filtration out, and I just wanted to let you know the method behind the madness of what was going on there and why I've done it. So while I was sat in my office the other night working away just on some boring old crap that you have to do on a daily basis, my mind started to wander, as it does, and it got me to thinking. My old pond, my old 2,000 gallon pond, the water used to absolutely sparkle. It was polished, and I was wondering why that changed, what happened, what was different. And then it dawned on me. I fitted a drum, and I used to use the KoiMaster Advantage regularly on the old pond, and the Advantage and a Nexus was a match made in heaven. But when I started using it with a drum, I found the drum stripped it out far too quickly before it had a chance to work its magic. And I guess that would happen with all sorts of things. Any sort of clay you put in, Advantage, Fock, or even powder based fluke treatments or anything like that, the drum's going to strip that out too quickly before it has a chance to do its thing. So then I come up with some mad idea. Who am I trying to kid? Me with a tape measure? Absolutely not. I measured nothing. I got straight on to eBay, looked for a Nexus in my area, second hand, that I could buy, and I bought one that night. Went and picked it up the next day, so it was that night I started pulling the filtration apart. So yeah, buying a second hand Nexus. I didn't feel there's any need, and I don't feel there's ever any need to buy a new one, to be honest, in my opinion, because they're just molded plastic and there's absolutely nothing to go wrong. The only thing that does go wrong with them is the valves and the airlines, and they're easy enough to replace. So I couldn't justify the price of a new one given the amount of filtration that I have and the money I've spent in here. So I went straight on to eBay, as I say, and found a second hand one, and I got an absolute steal, Nexus 220. So went and picked it up, and I don't want you thinking this crazy lunatic has got rid of his drum and put an Nexus in, because I haven't. I pulled out, I'll take her out and show you. There she is, up and running. I used to have me sieve here, which I pulled out and fitted the Nexus. So I've got the Nexus running on the skimmer line. So I've still got my two bottom drains. Let me just flick that. I've still got my two bottom drains. They're feeding into the drum, and the skimmer line feeds into the Nexus here. Now the plan is, because obviously you'll be thinking the drum's still going to strip out any Advantage or any clay or any treatments that I put in. But the plan is, for once a month, I'm going to dose with me KoiMaster's Advantage. I'm going to bypass the drum, and while I bypass the drum, I'm going to shut the valve here that feeds the bio unit, turn off the pump or the return on the bio unit, and just have the bio circling constantly. And what I'll do is I'll put 100 ml of this magic stuff in, PSB. I'll put 100 ml in the bio, and I'll let that circle for a couple of hours just over the shower, through the bio, over the shower. The drum will be bypassed, so it will not be stripping any of the KoiMaster's Advantage out, and that'll give the Nexus time to grab the Advantage. And that sits in the K1 media, and it strips out every little bit of impurity and all the fines and everything else, and it works absolutely fantastically. and that's the reason I have fitted a nexus. And I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to get the polished water back that I had before, which I've struggled to get since fitting the drum. Fingers crossed anyway, that's the method behind it. So I managed to install this on a whim that day. I built the frame for it down here, and yeah, I currently have it bodged on 1.5 inch line because I'm just waiting on FedEx to turn up with some 2-inch connectors that I needed. I've got my waste plumbed in over here, which goes into me drain at the back, and yeah, I don't think it takes up a bit more room than the sieve, but it's definitely a better job. I'm already seeing improvements in the water clarity already, so I'm chuffed a bit, and I think I've made the right move in installing it. So I took all the media out. I think the guy that I bought it off, I'll just show you this here. I think the chap that I bought it off was having some problems. Well, he must have been, because when I dismantled it, he would have definitely been having problems with flow rates. So here's just a tip for anyone running an Nexus: do not throw these bio chips in. I have a bin full of them down here. Do not throw the bio chips in the bio side of your filter, because the Nexus runs on slats rather than holes. And when I backflushed all this, when I stripped it apart, tons of them come out between the mechanical side and the bio side, so they've obviously got through there and blocked it up on the guy that I bought it off. So I managed to clear it all out. I took all of the K1 out of the bio, steeped that in bleach for 24 hours, and along with the micro K1 out of the mechanical side, out of the easy in the center. So soaked that in bleach for 24 hours to kill any nasties that may have been on it, as it was. You could clearly see it had been sat unused for a while when I bought it. Then rinsed everything off, put it all back in the filter, and filled it up with water, sealed the unit off, and run it completely full of PP for 12 hours. Left it bubbling then for 12 hours full of PP. So rinsed that off, filled it back up with PP again, run it again, and then rinsed it off again, and then plumbed her in properly and got her up and running. Did my first dose of KoiMaster Advantage, let this baby clear that out of the water, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get the water back to where it used to be. I just think, you know when your water's right, and that's what I'm chasing at the minute. So I had to get an extra air pump now to run the Nexus. So I've got bottom drain 65 litre, which is actually too much air for the two bottom drains. I've got an 80 litre feeding one half of this bio chamber, 80 litre feeding the other half. So I've got moving bed and static on that side, and then I've got an 80 litre which goes along here, up over the roof, down the side, and into the Nexus. So yeah, like I was saying about buying a second-hand one, the only thing that ever goes are the valves, and they had perished, but I've replaced them all with new valves, new lines, cleaned the lot out. And yeah, it's like a brand new Nexus. So I think there was 50 litres of K1 in it when I bought it. So I can put another 100 litres I think in this moving bed, but with what I have over here in this one, I'm not really short. And this side is completely full of crystal bio, so I don't think I'm short of bio. I've done all my water tests recently and it's showing 0 ammonia and almost 0 nitrite. You can barely pick it up on the nanometer, so, and I am feeding quite heavy, so I don't think bio is an issue for me. So I'll leave it with the 50 litres of K1 at the minute. Maybe if I add more fish in the future. What I might do is buy some more micro K1, because I think I meant to have 18 litres, and I think when I was cleaning it out I counted 14. So I'm probably missing a bit in the mechanical side, but I'll probably top that up at some point in the future. So yeah guys, that was it. I just wanted to fill you in. What else have I got to do now? I've got to clean out my sieve and get that sold. I've still got to take care of that bamboo and this absolute bomb site that I've got going on at the other side of the garden. But if you just don't look at that and just look at the rest of it, I'm happy enough. And the fish are happy enough at the minute. That's that Sakai Fish Farm Sankey from the Lee Hadfield Growing Show. Coming on about 55 cm now, I'd say. This Achiba, I had her out when I measured the I moved one on. I got rid of a Suetsugu Sankey this week. A guy come to pick it up, and I netted and measured my Achiba, which was 30 centimetre. That's an Okawa Achiba. It was 30 centimetres when I bought it. It's 70 centimetres now. The fish, looking back on old footage from my channel, some of my fish have absolutely doubled in size since putting them in here, so I'm chuffed with that. And you don't really notice it in such a big, going from such a small pond to such a big pond, you don't really notice them growing. So yeah, chuffed to bits with the growth. So that's it then folks, I just wanted to give you a little update on what I'd been up to the other night and why I was pulling things apart. So yeah, in my crazy mind I've installed a Nexus and I'm chuffed to bits with it. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, look after the fish. Yeah, one more thing before I go. I do love these guys. Having them in my office is mint. And they're savage, they're expecting fed, but it's not happening. Just done a little bit of feed at the minute, because I gotta wait for the bio in the filter to stack up. But yeah, they're cool.